Welcome to Video Podcast. Damn, now I done forgot. I think this is 82. Video Podcast. No, this is 83. This Video Podcast 83. Couple announcements. I'm not going to do a live stream today. The last few Thursdays, I've done a live stream for my Patreon exclusive live streams. Yeah, I've done it, I want to say the last 3 or 4 Thursdays. I'm not going to do a Patreon exclusive live stream today. I'll probably come back with another live stream a week from today, next Thursday. I will be uploading some videos once I receive them, because I had an interview from a guy I met at the 21 convention in Orlando, Florida, named Richard Cooper. He did an interview with me, and as soon as he forwards me the edited clips from that interview, I'll be posting that as a Patreon exclusive. Matter of fact, he's going to make it a Patreon exclusive on his own Patreon channel, and I'm going to upload it to my Patreon channel. So, yeah, I look forward to receiving those. We did that last Friday. Yeah, he interviewed me last Friday, and he's in the process of editing the clips. Speaking of my Patreon, man, I got to be real, I love and appreciate you guys more than any of my group of followers. In addition to my regular and semi-regular Skype consultation clients and email consultation clients. I have a criticism of some of my Patreon subscribers, which is rare. I have a criticism of you guys. Not all of you guys, not most of you guys, but just some of you all. Now, when you have a Patreon page, when you're a Patreon creator, and you have Patreon subscribers, the payments are processed on the 1st and 2nd of the month. The 1st and 2nd of the month. Okay? And every month, I've had a small number of Patreon subscribers whose payments didn't process. And I usually will write those people. And most of the time, they give me a valid reason for why their payment didn't go through on their credit card or debit card. But this month, January, well, now I shouldn't say this month because we're in February now, but last month, for January, and the payments were processed on February 1st and February 2nd were my most recent process days. Man, I had as many as 14 people whose payments didn't process. And I've written all 14 of those guys an inbox message through Patreon. I've heard back from about 1/3 of the guys. But yeah, man, that's the most I've ever had for any month. Matter of fact, I'm going to quickly go down the list by month. My first month on Patreon was April of 2017, which was also my first month on YouTube. But I didn't really take Patreon seriously back in April. I didn't start taking it serious until about mid to late June of last year. But in April 2017, I had 4 Patreon subscribers and all 4 of their payments processed. In May 2017, I had 17 Patreon subscribers, and 16 of those 17 payments were processed properly. In June of 2017, which is actually, that was the month I first started taking Patreon seriously, I had 24 Patreon subscribers, and 23 of those 24 Patreon subscribers' payments processed properly. July of 2017, I had 63 Patreon subscribers and 59 payments processed properly. So that means I have 4 people whose payments were not processed. They were declined by the credit card company or debit card company. July 2017, I had 4. That was the most at that time. August of 2017, I had 99 Patreon subscribers and 96 payments processed properly. So I had 3 that failed to process properly. September 2017, I had 116 Patreon subscribers and 115 Patreon's payments processed properly. That means I only had 1 payment that didn't go through. October 2017, I had 144 Patreon subscribers and 140 went through properly. So for the second or third time, I had as many as 4 people whose payments didn't process. November 2017, I had 169 Patreon subscribers. I had 169 Patreon subscribers. And I had 165 payments that processed properly. Once again, I have 4 people payments that didn't process properly. December, I had 164 patrons, subscribers, 164. And a quick note, that was the first month that my number of Patreon subscribers went down instead of up. Every month it went up. But from November to December, it actually went down. In November, I had 169 Patreon subscribers. And December, I only had 164. So I went down by 5. And out of those 164, 161 payments processed properly. So I had 3 people that didn't process. Now we get to last month. January of 2018, 165 Patreon subscribers, but only 151 payments processed successfully. That's 14, man. That's 14 payments that didn't process properly. 165 Patreon subscribers, but only 151 payments went through on the credit card or debit card. Man, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. And again, that's only a small percentage. That's only about what? Roughly, I guess, a little under 10% of my total Patreon subscribers. So it's not a large percentage of guys. But come on, man. Come on, fellas. That's not cool, man. Now, again, 1/3 of these 14 guys, I want to say about 4 of these 14 guys, or 5 of them, have written me already and apologizing and saying that it will be corrected. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that for the guys I've heard from. But there's at least 9 of the 14 guys I haven't heard from. I haven't heard from at all. So I'm very disappointed in that, man, because I can't keep you on as a Patreon subscriber, man, if your payment's not going through, man. I can't keep you on, man. I gotta block you. So take this as a warning. Over the next, if I don't hear from you, if you're one of those 9 Patreon subscribers whose payment didn't go through and I haven't heard from you yet, then within the next 5 to 7 days, I'm blocking you from my Patreon page. I'm blocking you. Because again, prior to January, the most payments I ever had that didn't process was 4. In January, I had 14. So, little housekeeping. Why does this thing keep... Shine, baby. Did I tell you? I had a woman bless her heart, she said, Alan, are you an official sponsor for vitamin water? Like, I noticed you hold up vitamin water. Do you actually, they hired you as an official sponsor? I wish. No, they don't pay me shit. They should be paying me. But yeah, this one woman literally thought I was like some kind of official, like, pitch man for vitamin water. Webcam keep going down. Ticking me off. Okay. Now, you know, I'm gonna have to, you know what I'm gonna have to do right now? I'm gonna have to insert the dog face right here. Insert the dog face right here. Now again, for my last 3 videos, I've gotten, definitely the vast majority of my feedback has been positive. Definitely the vast majority of it was positive. So thank you for that. Thank you for all the positive feedback I've received. But I'm still receiving a handful, not much, just a little small percentage of, oh, speaking of feedback, now I know I haven't gotten that this much in the last 2 to 3 months, but you know, a large part of last year, a lot of guys who were in my haters and critics group sometimes would accuse me of always defending women and always pandering to women and being 10 times harsher in my criticisms of men than my criticisms of women. And some people would imply that, you know, I never get any negative feedback from women because I'm always playing up to them so much. Well, did you pay attention to the comment section of my very last video? Now, I didn't get much criticism, but I had at least 2, if not 3 women, including the infamous Deborah Cooper, someone I've known since 2008. We go way back to our Blog Talk Radio days. A lot of guys hate Deborah Cooper, man. I don't hate Deborah Cooper. I mean, we and her have had some heated philosophical disagreements related to dating and relationships, for damn sure. We've definitely not seen eye to eye on a lot of stuff related to men's behavior versus women's behavior. But I've never looked at her as like an enemy or somebody to hate. I've talked about her once or twice before back in 2017. Me and Deborah Cooper actually used to be real cool. Yeah, beginning with from 2008 all the way up until about late 2010, early 2011. Me and Deborah Cooper used to be real cool. I was a guest on her Blog Talk Radio show at least twice. She was a guest co-host on my show at least once. She just has a lot of strong opinions that usually favor, you know, women's side of the discussion. So that's why a lot of guys don't like her, man. But yeah, on a personal level, I've never had any beef with Deborah Cooper. But anyway, she commented on my last video, and 2 other women who are semi-regular commenters in my comment section accused me of generalizing women. Yeah, they said that I want to say I had at least 2 women that said that I was guilty of generalizing all women as being manipulative and promiscuous. Well, one of those 2, I would halfway agree with them. The other one, I wouldn't. I've never generalized all women as being promiscuous, although I think all women are capable of being promiscuous. But I would never generalize all women as actually being promiscuous. But to a large extent, I do tend to generalize all women as being manipulative to one degree or another. And one of the reasons why I don't hesitate to do that is because I've known women themselves who categorize all women as being manipulative. I had a woman on a public message board. You ever heard of this site called Goodreads? There's a site for book lovers called Goodreads.com. Goodreads. Goodreads.com. It's one of the most popular sites for people who love ebooks, paperbacks, hardcovers, or audiobooks. If you love any version of books, if you're just basically a book lover, then you want to check out that site, Goodreads. And if you're an author on Goodreads, which is what I am, of course, if you're an author, they have certain message boards and discussion forums specifically for authors to exchange information about marketing your books and that type of thing. And anyway, one time I was looking for some people to review my book. I want to say it was The Possibility of Sex. Yeah, it was The Possibility of Sex audiobook. Well, I think ebook and audiobook, but particularly the audiobook. I wanted some women, because I knew a lot of men would offer their criticisms and comments and agreements and praise and kudos for that book, because that's a book that's definitely geared towards men. But I wanted at least a handful of women to listen to the audiobook and offer a review to give it, a female perspective. Anyway, without getting into a long story, there's one woman, she wrote on the message board, she said, "Alan, I just read the title of your book and just a brief excerpt of your book. And she said, I'm going to tell you right now, no woman is going to like that book." And I knew the reason she was going to give me, but I played dumb. I said, well, why? Why are women going to automatically dislike this book? She said, because you're exposing women's manipulative nature. And she said, this was her words, and this is a woman. She said, let's just be real. All women are manipulative. This was a woman who generalized her own gender. She said, all women are manipulative. And she went on to basically say, she said, I don't think you're going to get any like 4-star or 5-star reviews from any women. Although I did actually get some. If you go on audible.com, there's at least, I want to say 2 or 3 women that actually gave The Possibility of Sex either a 4-star or a 5-star rating. Yeah, I want to say I had at least 3 women on audible.com that have given The Possibility of Sex. That's actually my highest rated audiobook. Because you can rate each audiobook on audible.com from 1 star to 5 stars. And yeah, Possibility of Sex has a 4.8 out of 5-star rating. Yeah, it has a 4.8 out of 5-star rating. That's my highest rated audiobook. That's the good news. The bad news is that's my least selling audiobook, though, out of my 4 audiobooks. That's my least selling. I sell less copies of that audiobook than any of my other 4 audiobooks. My highest, well, quickly, I'll go by rating and then sales. Rating, it is, Possibility of Sex is number 1 with a 4.8 out of 5 stars. Mole 1 has 4.6 out of 5 stars. And Ooh Said Again and the Beta Male Revolution have 4.2 out of 5 stars, which is still good. Anytime you got 4 stars or higher, that's considered a good book. So yeah, all of my audiobooks have no less than a 4-star rating. Yeah, Beta Male Revolution and Ooh Said Again have a 4.2 rating. So they're my 2 lowest rated. But my best-selling audiobook is Ooh Said Again, by far. That's my best-selling audiobook. Second best-selling is Mode 1. Third is the Beta Male Revolution. And 4th is The Possibility of Sex. So anyway, yeah, these women criticized me. Not, again, just a couple. said I generalized women as being both manipulative and promiscuous. Now, I would never say that all women are promiscuous, but I do say all women are capable or have the potential to become promiscuous at any given moment. But I would say that just about all women, 19 out of every 20 women in society is manipulative to one degree or another. Which leads me to something. Talking about women being promiscuous. This ain't gonna be nothing complicated or nothing. Here's what I understand, but it's interesting being a professional dating coach. It's interesting being a professional dating coach for many reasons, a myriad of reasons. But here's one reason why it's very interesting to be a professional dating coach. I use this one example. I had this one consultation client. He was a regular Skype consultation client of mine. And one time we were having a Skype consultation, and honestly, I got a little irritated by it. I got a little agitated by it. And not in a real mean way. I mean, it was more in a lighthearted, it was kind of like a lighthearted agitation, but still, I was kind of agitated because I felt like I was giving him a lot of simplistic concepts about dealing with women, but he just didn't seem to be understanding those relatively simplistic concepts. But then he said something that I had to, take to heart and immediately acknowledge as valid. He could sense that I was kind of getting lightheartedly agitated and impatient with him. And he said, "Alan," here's my webcam. What the hell? Wait, hold on a second. He said, "Alan, you have to understand, if I had the same knowledge and wisdom about women that you possess and the same thorough and perceptive understanding of women as you possess, why in the hell would I need to pay you for coaching and consultations? Why in the hell would I need to pay you money?" He said, if every man understood women as well as you do, then you would be out of business. And I had to laugh at that because that's true. That's true. So I say that to say that there's sometimes when I get feedback from men, and honestly, there's some feedback that just frustrates me at times. But then I think about that consultation client's comment, man. If every man on earth understood women to the same degree that I do and had the exact same body of knowledge and wisdom and insight about women and their behavior and their psychology like I do, I would be out of business. Because why would they need my advice? Why would they need my books? Why would they need my email consultations? Why would they need my Skype and telephone consultations? Why would they need my one-on-one face-to-face coaching? Oh, speaking of one-on-one face-to-face coaching, I'm doing something that I've only, I think, done once before. I'm going to be working with men in 2 different cities almost back to back. I've only done that one time before in my life. Yeah, normally when I travel to work with one-on-one face-to-face clients, I usually travel to one specific city. Sometimes I have clients who come to me in Chicago and I work with them. That's probably about maybe 1/4 to 1/3 of my clients. And then the other 2/3 to 3/4 of my clients, I fly to them wherever they are. But it's usually one city at a time. But yeah, I'm going to be working with 2 clients in 2 different cities. I'm going to be working with at least one client in San Francisco on Thursday, March 1st, Thursday, March 1st, I'm going to be working with at least one client in San Francisco, and I have an opening for a 4-hour session for a second client. So if you live in the Bay Area, either Oakland, San Francisco, what's known as the Bay Area, and you're interested in a 4-hour session with me, I might possibly give you a discount off my normal rate. So get in contact with me at coaching@mo1.net. Yeah, I got one client I'm going to be working with in San Francisco on March 1st. And then I'm working with another client in Los Angeles on March 3rd. And you should know that day is significant to me. March 3rd, Saturday, March 3rd. That's actually my birthday. Yes, that's my birthday. Now, probably 3/4 of the time, I never work on my birthday. Particularly if it's on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I usually will, not work on my birthday. But if money calls, well, I've worked on my birthday definitely when my birthday is falling on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I've still done everything I normally do. But a lot of times, when my birthday falls on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll almost purposely not schedule anything on those days. But I'm going to be working with, and I also have one other opening in Los Angeles too. Yeah, I'm actually be in Los Angeles for 3 days. I'm going to be in Los Angeles that Friday, that's Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So March 3rd, March 4th, March 5th, I'm going to be in Los Angeles. And March 1st and March 2nd, I'm going to be in San Francisco. I'm going to be in San Francisco doing one-on-one, face-to-face coaching, as well as hooking up with some friends of mine in both of those cities. So get in contact with me, because like I said, if you're willing to purchase a 4-hour, I don't have any 8-hour slots open or a 3-day slot. Definitely don't have a 3-day slot open. But I'm willing to give a nice size discount for people who purchase a 4-hour session with me. A 4-hour session with me. But anyway, going back to the comment I was making, man, I have to understand, man, that if all guys had the same knowledge, wisdom, insight, and understanding about women that I do, then I would be out of business. I would be out of business. Because I can tell, not only from reading feedback, but as you know, one of my guilty pleasures sometimes is I listen to other YouTube podcast hosts, other people who have YouTube channels that are either directly or indirectly related to topics that center around dating, relationships, and stuff. And man, I can tell listening to guys, man, that they just don't understand women. Period. Some guys, here's a simple way you can tell. I can tell. I don't know about you guys, but here's a simple way I can tell when a guy just simply doesn't understand women. Is when he's always frustrated by women's behavior. Anytime you're a guy that's constantly, like I'm talking about on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year basis, you're always frustrated by women to the point where you feel the need to always bash them and criticize them and talk about all their flaws and weaknesses and basically say stuff like all women ain't shit. What that tells me is you don't understand women. You don't understand women's true nature. You just don't. Because I talked about this when I did that video when I talked about the 3 different types of red pill guys, which was the Tyrone type, the Thomas type, and the Theodore type. And I basically said the Tyrone type is your red pillar who he rarely, if ever, criticizes women or insults women because he understands women. He understands their nature, man. So there's nothing about women's behavior that shocks him or disappoints him or agitates him or frustrates him for more than maybe 5 or 10 minutes at a time because he understands women. He understands women are who they are. Now that's a phrase that some of my clients don't like hearing me say. But that's one of my most frequently used phrases, is that women are who they are, man. But But yeah, man, I can tell by the feedback I got on some of my last 3 videos. Man, this webcam is getting on my nerves. It keeps dropping. I don't know if you can tell watching it, but it keeps. I can tell by my hat. If it goes below the top of my hat, that means it's dropping. Yeah, a lot of you men don't understand women. And again, the simplest way I can tell when a man does not understand women is when he's always complaining about women. If you complain about women, like, say, every blue moon, once every so many months or once every so many years, I give you a pass on that. Oh, I think all guys probably do that, including myself. But if you're complaining about women's behavior on literally like a day-to-day or week-to-week or month-to-month basis, that means you don't understand women. It means either you don't understand women, or deep down you do understand them, but you refuse to accept their nature. It means you don't understand their nature, or you understand their nature, but you refuse to accept it. That's what that means. Here's the first step to understanding women. And I done said it in different ways on different videos, so this will really just be a repeat or rehash of stuff I've already said. It won't be nothing new or uniquely different. But it's simply that here's what I would call like the starting point. And this relates to why I always delineate but different archetypes of men. Like, for example, the total alpha male, the alpha male with beta traits, beta male with alpha traits, and the total beta male. Women don't want the same things from all men. They just don't. That's the very... let's say you're starting from a point where you're totally clueless about women. Like, you just don't understand shit about women. You are totally clueless about women. Here's your starting point. Your number one, I would say arguably your number one starting point is to understand this, man. Women don't gravitate towards all men for the same things. They just don't. The quicker you understand that, realize that, and accept that, the less frustrated you will be with women's behavior. Women don't gravitate towards all men for the same exact reasons. And again, I've talked about this multiple times before. Like, I heard a podcast host not too long ago. He was criticizing women for sowing their wild oats. Remember I talked about sexual hypocrisy? How men will want to sow their wild oats prior to getting married, but they don't want women to do the same thing. Well, that's what this podcast host I was listening to was doing. He was essentially criticizing women for sowing their wild oats prior to getting married. And he was almost acting like it was abnormal for women to fuck men who he felt had a low degree of moral character or integrity. Basically, the bad boy / asshole / jerk types. He was critical of that. This podcast host was criticizing women for having sex with guys who were, say, high school dropouts, had criminal records, did drugs, already had multiple baby mamas, who were street thugs, who were physically abusive, etc. So he was critical. He was like, I'm paraphrasing this guy. I don't remember his exact words because it was a long rant. But he's essentially saying, women are, they're the scum of the earth because, they'll have sex with all the guys who are low quality types and thug types and this type of thing. But then once they get into their 30s or 40s and they're ready to get married, then they'll try to find a good guy. And, us good guys are not going to stand for this. We're not going to stand for this. Midtown for life. Midtown for life. See, those type of rants let me know, as the man who I am and the professional dating coach who I am, that lets me know that you don't understand women. Because it's ridiculously hypocritical. Let me ask you this as a man. particularly if you're a man who's indulged in at least a few episodes of casual sex with women. If you're a guy who's a virgin or all you've engaged in is relationship sex with women, then you can skip this part because I'm not really talking to you. But I'm talking to you guys who've had at least a handful of episodes of casual sex. So for you guys who've had casual sex with women, you're telling me that every woman that you've only wanted to have casual sex with were women that were college educated, had a really good job, drove a really nice car, went to church every Sunday, and were considered just good citizens of society and had impeccable moral character and integrity and solid judgment. That's the only women you wanted to fuck. Insert dog face here. Come on, man. Come on. Get real. Any motherfucker that done got his share of casual sex pussy know that he will fuck damn near any woman with a halfway attractive face, nice tits, and a nice ass. Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Man, I would say men are worse than women in that regard. Y'all are worse than women in that regard. Most men, if they go to a social event, a party, a nightclub, that woman could have an IQ of 80. A woman could be a complete airhead. She could be a woman who abuses animals. Hope God forbid, because I love animals. But she could be a woman who abuses animals. She could be a woman who's never been employed for more than 6 months at a time in her entire fucking life. That woman can have everything fucked up about her personality, her behavior, and her moral character and integrity. But I guarantee you, that woman got a pretty smile, nice tits, relatively small waist, and a nice round juicy ass. There's a greater than 50% chance you're going to try to fuck her. Am I lying? Please tell me in the comment section below if I'm lying. Please tell me in the comment section below if I'm lying at the 38-minute mark. Tell me if I'm lying at the 38-minute mark. That most of you men who again, if you're a man who's a virgin or you've only had sex with a wife, a fiance, or a long-term girlfriend, I'm not really talking to you. I'm not talking to you. You guys are excused. But if you're a guy who is at least occasionally indulged in casual sex, particularly you guys who into tricking and shit, paying bitches money for sex, like y'all really trying to examine their fucking moral character and integrity and shit when you're trying to fuck. You just want to bust a nut. You just want to bust a nut. So, again, what's been one of my recent criticisms of a lot of you men, if not a long-standing criticism? A lot of you men always want to point out how different women are from men, but y'all never want to acknowledge how similar women are to men. What makes you think women are any different than men? That's what I want to know. For those guys who I can tell don't understand women. What makes you think that women are any different than men? Like, it's like you got some men out here, and particularly here on YouTube, that think the only men that women should be having sex with, and particularly casual sex with, are guys who are like intelligent, educated, never committed a felony or a misdemeanor in their life, never been unemployed for a significant amount of time, you know, just an overall good citizen type of guy. Dog face here. Man, when women want just some dick, they just want some fucking dick. Understand that fucking shit. Please. Wake the fuck up, man. How many times I gotta tell y'all to wake the fuck up? Women ain't no different than y'all motherfuckers. When y'all horny for pussy, y'all will fuck any woman that's halfway attractive. I guarantee you will. When y'all are really horny for sex, y'all gonna fuck any woman that got a decent face and above average body. Women ain't no fucking different. When a woman wants some good dick and just good dick only, she ain't thinking about a motherfucker's moral character and his integrity and all that other bullshit some of you motherfuckers be talking about. They thinking about, is this motherfucker gonna fuck my pussy the way I want it fucked? That's what they thinking about. That's what they thinking about. And I know, because as you motherfuckers know from my history, I've been women's other man. And I've done had casual sex with hundreds of women. Hundreds of women. Sometimes women just want some fucking good dick. That's all they want. They ain't trying to have no good conversation with you. They don't give a fuck about your moral character and integrity. They just want some fucking dick. Period. Marinate on that shit. And accept that shit. And if you refuse to accept it, guess what? You're going to be fucked up for life. That's what I'm telling you right now. If you refuse to accept the realities of women's true nature, more specifically their true sexual nature, you're going to be a frustrated misogynist or borderline misogynist for the rest of your motherfucking life. That's what you're going to be. You're going to be an angry, bitter, resentful misogynist or at minimum borderline misogynist for the rest of your motherfucking life. That's what you're going to be. And that is basically your misogynist types. Most men in society who are bitter, resentful, misogynist types or on their or headed towards being a bitter, resentful, misogynist types are essentially men who two things, who don't understand women's true nature, and the things that they do understand about women's true nature, they don't like it and refuse to accept it. And in fairness to men, I would say the same thing about women. There's some women who are the same way. So I'll be objective. There's some women who are the same way. There's some women, man, like most of your women who've dealt with a lot of men, they understand men's true nature. They understand that men are going, if a woman gets that man's dick hard, 9 times out of 10, he's going to fuck her. I mean, most women, your seasoned veteran type women, they understand that shit. Even women who are married, they understand that if the husband is in a room with a woman that gets his dick hard, then 9 times out of 10, he's going to fuck her. Why won't you men understand that shit? If a woman is left in a room with a guy who got the skills to get her pussy wet, there's at least a 50% chance he's going to get his dick sucked or he's going to end up fucking that shit. Period. Ain't nothing hard to understand about that shit. Y'all make it hard for y'all to understand. Like, there's a podcast host, who y'all know I've gotten into beefs with this guy. I ain't going to mention his name. But he loves to throw around this economic term when he talks about women's choices of male sexual companions. He'll always talk about price discrimination. Price discrimination. Price, for those of you who don't know, price discrimination would be, a real simple example would be, let's say I owned a grocery store. And instead of selling a gallon of milk for the same price to every customer who comes in my grocery store, I'm like selective on the price. Like some customers who come in the store, I charge them $9 for that gallon of milk. Other customers, I charge them $6.50. Other customers, I charge them $4. See, that would be price. That's what's called price discrimination. Which is, unless you're at a flea market or something, that's actually illegal. Like, you notice grocery stores, they can't get away with doing that. They can't get away with charging some people one price for a product or service and charging other people a totally different price or service. That's for the most part illegal. But yeah, that's what's known as price discrimination, is when you're charging different customers a totally different price for the same exact product or the same exact service. Well, this podcast host who I've had beefs with, that's one of his criticisms of women, is that basically his argument is that some women let some men get into their pants very quickly and easily, while they make other men jump through hoops to get in between their pants. Insert dog face here. That's like the biggest, for a man like me who thoroughly understands women and understands their nature, that's like the biggest duh of all time. Duh. Duh. Again, that's the starting point. That's the starting point of understanding women. Is understand that, let me break it down to you motherfuckers that need me to just lay it out in blunt, clear terms. For most women you deal with, there's always going to be at least one, at minimum, one other motherfucker in that woman's life who's going to be able to get the pussier quicker than you, easier than you, and while spending less money than you, and while spending less time with her non-sexually, and without committing to her. There's always going to be at least one guy in every woman you deal with life that's going to get the pussy quicker than you did, easier than you did, while spending less money than you did, while investing less time spent with her non-sexually, and without committing to that woman. In other words, to put it even more simpler than that, every woman has at least one motherfucker in their life that they're going to get a pussy to at the drop of a dime. At the fucking drop of a dime. That could be a motherfucking drug dealer. That could be a street thug. It could be a motherfucker that got a criminal record. It could be another motherfucker that never finished high school or college. Whatever. There's always going to be one motherfucker that a woman's going to get a pussy to at the drop of a motherfucking dime. Whereas with you, they're going to make you work to get the pussy. They're going to make you do shit for them to get the pussy. I had a woman, to tell a personal story related to this, I had a woman that I was dating actually be bluntly real with me about that. It was kind of eyebrow raising, but see, I didn't trip on it because I understand women's nature. But I was dating this woman. We weren't boyfriend, girlfriend. We were headed that way, but then things kind of went awry and we didn't end up truly connecting. But there was like I don't know, maybe a 3 or 4 week period where we were seeing each other, I guess you can call it. But anyway, we were having this conversation. And she asked me this interesting question. She said, Alan, if you and I were married, who would be at least 2 or 3 female celebrities that I would have to give you a pass for? And I generally knew what she meant by that, but I played the dumb role. I said, what do you mean, a pass? And she said, like, I don't know if you know, Alan, but a lot of couples, married couples, have at least a handful of people that they'll consider, I'll give him a pass for that, or I'll give her a pass for that. Usually it's a celebrity, but in some cases it could be a non-celebrity. And I said, yeah. Matter of fact, speaking of that, I used to be a big fan of this show called Entourage on HBO. I think a lot of you guys knew that. But Entourage had a few episodes that dealt with that. Like the main character on Entourage was this up-and-coming actor named Vince. I remember there was this one episode where he's in this bookstore and he runs into this woman that's like one of his groupies. She's like crazy over him. And she basically like just throws the pussy at him. But then she goes on to tell Vince that she's engaged. And he's like, wait a minute, you're engaged? And he's basically reluctant to fuck her now. He's like, I don't know if I want to fuck you if you're engaged. And she says, oh, don't worry about it. My fiance, he already knows that you're one of the guys that gets a pass. So that is a pretty common concept among certain men and women, the idea of that pass. Yeah, but they used that. They had about 3 or 4 episodes of Entourage where they would mention that pass thing. But I remember one in particular was that episode I just talked about. Yeah, this woman was engaged, but she said, my fiance knows that you're one of the guys that gets a pass. Meaning that the fiance has said, I know if you run into this guy that 99% chance you're going to give him the pussy, so I ain't going to even get mad at you because I know you want to fuck him. Well, anyway, going back to me and this woman I was dealing with, that's what she told. She asked me, she said, who would be it? And I said, well, I don't know if I have any female celebrities. I don't really put them on a higher pedestal than women who are non-celebrities. I said, well, I've interacted with women who are celebrities, and they didn't really impress me. I don't find myself any more attracted to them than I do, a non-celebrity female. And she said, oh, okay. I said, okay, well, since you asked me, I said, who, if you and I were married, who would be your path? Man, she didn't even hesitate. She said, it's funny. I had to give her points for just honesty. She didn't even try to suppress it. She just came right out with it. She said, oh, Shamar Moore, easily. I said, Shamar Moore, huh? She said, oh, yeah, easily. She said, I'm sorry, Alan, but she said, even if you and I were married and I was deeply in love with you, she said, if I was, like, say, out of town on a business trip and I ran it and I found out Shamar Moore was living in the same hotel, was staying in the same hotel as me, I would definitely go to his room, suck his dick, and give him the pussy. He would get the pussy like that. And she wasn't even joking. She said that to me. She said, I would give him the pussy like that. And this was a woman, and I knew about this woman, and I can say with full conviction, this was not a woman who was promiscuous or had any type of reputation for being like, a big-ass freak. This was a woman who, in her social circle, was known for being, for the most part, a so-called good girl. But, how I feel about the good girl tag. But she came from a good family, upper middle class family. But yeah, man, she told me that. She basically was like, if I ran into Shamar Moore, she said I would give him the pussy like that. And that's what I'm telling you guys, man. All women got them. Even women who might not tell you to your face, like that chick told me to my face, all women got at least one motherfucker that they'll get a pussy to like that. Like that. I've been to toot my horn, and I don't hesitate to toot my horn when necessary. But honestly, man, when I was in my 20s and 30s, not so much, I would say, since I've been in my 40s and 50s, but when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was that motherfucker for a lot of women. I'm just going to keep it real. I was that motherfucker for, I know women who told other men that, or told their girlfriends that, about me. I know women when I was young who would tell either their girlfriends or some men they knew. They would, like, I had some of my buddies would tell me, they would say, man, I was talking to this woman, and we got to talking. She said, oh, Alan, Roger Currie, oh, yeah, I'd open my legs for him so quick, he wouldn't even have to be my boyfriend to get it. I would just give him the pussy. That's what I've had women say about me, man, when I was younger, that I was that guy who they would just get a pussy to like that. And a lot of women did. That's why I ended up fucking a lot of other dudes' wives, other dudes' fiancés, and other dudes' girlfriends. Because I had a lot of dudes, not only single women who gave me the pussy like that, but I had women who were married or in relationships who gave me the pussy or sucked my dick like that. And anyway, the point I'm trying to make to a lot of you guys, the guys who I can tell by either your rants, your general comments, or your private or public feedback to me, a lot of you guys either, like I said, one or two things, either you don't get that or you get it, but you refuse to accept it. You either don't get that or you get it, but you refuse to accept it. But the reality is, man, to use that other podcast term, the economic term, price discrimination, all women are going to be guilty of price discrimination. All women are going to be, at some point, with some man, they're going to be guilty of price discrimination. I'll wrap up by saying this, man. It's really only 5 ways you're going to get a woman in bed. And if you've read my book, Who Said Again, or listened to the audiobook, you know I got a chapter where I mention this. Only really 5 ways you're going to get a woman in bed. 5 ways you're going to get a woman in bed. Attraction, seduction, negotiation, manipulation, and coercion. Let me repeat that. Attraction, seduction, manipulation, negotiation, and coercion. That's the only 5 ways a man is going to get a woman in bed. If a man ends up in bed with a woman, having sex with a woman, it's going to be because of some variation of one of those 5 methods. It's going to be because of some variation of one of those 5 methods. Again, for the third and last time. Attraction, seduction, manipulation, negotiation, or coercion. I'll give you a quick gist of each one and then I'll end this video. Attraction. If you're able to get a woman in bed just by showing up, basically, just literally by showing up, that means you've gotten a woman in bed by attraction. For example, if you go to a social event or a party or a nightclub and women immediately gravitate towards you, which is, if you understand the concept of attraction, that's what attraction is. Like a magnet attracts things to it. Attracts as opposed to repelling things. You attract. When you attract something, that means you draw it to you. You draw it to you. So a man who gets a woman in bed with attraction, that's a man who really don't have to invest any significant amount of time to get a woman in bed, any money to get a woman in bed. Women are basically going to offer him the pussy. They're going to basically give a man the pussy on a silver platter. That's attraction. That's, of course, what most men would consider the ideal way of getting a woman in bed, is attraction. Yeah. Probably, if I had to pick one year where I benefited from that way of getting women in bed, and I've mentioned this before, for me it would have to be my senior in high school. My senior in high school, man, just about every woman I fucked, man, they pretty much just gave me the pussy. I mean, I didn't really, like, seduce them. Or I didn't do any whining and dining of them. I didn't seduce them. I mean, women just literally, yeah, if there was at least, and I probably had a couple other years too, but the main year was my senior in high school, man. Women used to just give me the pussy, man. I mean, and I'm talking about women, a lot of women who had boyfriends would just literally just give me the pussy. They would tell me that they thought I was fine or handsome and that I was sexy and whatever, and then they would let me know that you can get this. You can get it. That's attraction. That's what, so if you end up having sex with a woman simply because a woman pretty much offered herself to you, and you just took it, she offered, you took it, that's attraction. That's attraction. That means you got a woman to have sex with you because of attraction. Second would be seduction, which of course, as you know, is one of my major emphases as a dating coach and a verbal seduction coach. Yeah, my emphasis is on verbal seduction. Seduction. When is seduction necessary? Seduction is necessary to get a woman in bed when a woman has some degree of attraction towards you. She has some degree of interest in having sex with you, but she also has what I refer to in my book, The Who Said Again, as a justification for resistance and or reluctance. A justification for resistance and or reluctance. Let's say, for example, a woman says, man, I'm attracted to Alan Roger Currie. I wouldn't mind having sex with him, But I got to maintain my good girl reputation, and for that reason, I don't want to indulge in casual sex because that might compromise my good girl reputation. What that means is that woman is attracted to me. She's interested in having sex with me, but her mind has given her what I refer to as a justification for resistance and or reluctance. Or another woman, might say, I'm attracted to Alan Roger Currie. I think he's sexy, but I am married, and I promised my husband I would never cheat on him. That would be a very obvious justification for resistance and or reluctance. That's where seduction comes into play. Because that's basically what it means to seduce a woman. In simple terms, to seduce a woman means you, number one, get a woman to acknowledge that she does have some degree of attraction towards you sexually. And number two, through your confidence, your dominance, and probably most prominently, your persuasive charm, you're able to persuade a woman to neutralize or temporarily or indefinitely suppress her justifications for resistance and reluctance. That's basically, in a nutshell, what seduction is. That's what happens when you seduce a woman. You get a woman to acknowledge that she is indeed attracted to you, and you find a way through your persuasive skills to get a woman to neutralize or temporarily or indefinitely suppress her justifications for resistance or reluctance. That's why men pay me for one-on-one coaching. That's my specialty in my one-on-one coaching, is I teach men how to seduce women. That's the second most way you're going to get a woman to have sex with you, is if you become a master of seduction. Third way is manipulation. Manipulation. In simple terms, what is manipulation? Manipulation is when you lie to a woman or mislead a woman in one way or another to get her to have sex with you. For example, you give a woman the misleading impression you're interested in long-term sex because you know that that's what she's interested in, but in reality, you're interested in short-term sex. So after you have sex with her just maybe 5 to 10 times, you leave her high and dry. That's manipulation. Or you give a woman a misleading impression that you're interested in monogamous sex when you know deep down you're really interested in non-monogamous sex. That's manipulation. When you give a woman the impression you're single and unattached, when in actuality you already have a wife, a fiance, or a long-term girlfriend. That's manipulation. So anytime you're deceitful and or misleading with women, that means you're being manipulative. It means you're being manipulative. As you know, I'm not a fan of manipulating. I'm not a fan of getting women in bed by lying to them or manipulating them. Some pickup artists are into that. Some dating coaches promote that. That's not something I promote or endorse, is lying to women or misleading women to get them in bed. But realistically, that's the common form of how men get women in bed, is by lying to them and misleading them and just generally manipulating them. The fourth most common way would be negotiation, what most guys would refer to as tricking. Now, there are non-financial ways, things you can offer to women to motivate them to get in bed. It might be, I don't know, you offer to get them a job at a certain company. Well, that's still financial technically. I don't know, you might offer to clean their house. I don't know. There's probably a few non-financial, but basically you barter it with women. The most obvious example of negotiation or tricking would be you offer a street prostitute, a professional call girl, or an erotic escort a certain sum of money in exchange for access to her sexual companionship for X number of minutes, X number of hours, or X number of days. Again, what most people call tricking. That's the negotiate. That falls under negotiation. That usually happens when you're dealing with a woman that's not really attracted to you sexually. She's not really attracted to you sexually. She has at best, an average attraction to you, and more often a less than average degree of sexual attraction to you. But she's still willing to fuck you if you're willing to satisfy a certain financial or non-financial need for her. That's why you have tricking. That's usually a woman who has an average to less than average degree of sexual attraction to you, but because she knows you're willing to satisfy a financial or non-financial related need of hers, she's willing to negotiate with you and engage in what's known as transactional sex. That's what tricking is. Tricking is, or sugar daddy, sugar baby relationships, that's called transactional sex. And then the fifth and final category of getting a woman in bed, which is the most deplorable and despicable, is coercion. That would be raping a woman, date raping a woman, getting a woman sloppy drunk and taking advantage of her, putting drugs in a woman's system so you can take advantage of her, kidnapping a woman and sexually assaulting her, whatever. Any of that stuff, that's coercion. So that's the only 5 ways you can get women in bed to have sex with you. Attraction, seduction, manipulation, negotiation, and coercion. Get it? Got it? Good. I understand women thoroughly. I understand them thoroughly. You know how you can tell I understand women? How many videos have you seen me where I just flew off the handle talking about women? Seriously. You notice the only time I go off on women is a specific individual woman. Like, I've done at least 1 or 2 videos where I was harshly critical of a specific individual woman. Like, one in particular was this chick who has this YouTube channel called Black Domestic Discipline. I called her out on a video last year for being full of shit. This chick is married, but yet she write me emails talking about how she was playing with her pussy, listening to my episodes of the erotic conversations. So I will call out, I've called out both in my blog talk radio days and to a lesser extent since I've been on YouTube. I will call out individual specific women here and there. But when it comes to calling out women as an entire gender, you notice I don't do no angry rants about women. Seriously, go look at my YouTube history. I dare you. You ain't gonna really be able to find no videos where I'm doing what I call an angry rant, my infamous angry rants that center around bashing women as an entire gender. Because I understand women. I understand their true nature, man. But all men who understand women's true nature, man, they don't get angry over women, man. They don't. They just don't. I talked about that in that video where I talked about Tyrone versus Thomas versus Theodore. Tyrone types, man, they don't get bent out of shape over women because they understand women, man. There's nothing a woman can do to shock me, disappoint me, or leave me indefinitely frustrated. Again, I've had women that have left me frustrated for, say, maybe 5 to 10 minutes or something like that, here and there, for sure. I think all men have. But if you're talking about a woman who left me so frustrated that I just start bashing women, like on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis, ain't nothing a woman can do to get me to that level. Because I understand women are who they are, man. They are who they are. They're going to fuck who they want to fuck. You got to understand that. Women going to fuck who they want to fuck. You think they're a good girl? No, they're not. They're going to fuck who they want to fuck. You think you own that pussy? No, you don't. They're going to fuck who they want to fuck. You think you were the quickest man to get in a woman's drawers? You're wrong. There was at least one motherfucker that got in that pussy quicker than you did. There's at least one motherfucker that spent less money than you did. There's one motherfucker that got that pussy that you had to commit to, that he didn't have to commit shit to get that pussy. There's one guy who fucked in the ass even though that woman won't let you fuck in the ass. There's one man who that woman swallowed his cum and she slaps you on the face for even suggesting coming in her mouth. Man, get real, motherfuckers. Wake the fuck up. I know women. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Who's the king?
Alan, you're the king.
Say it again.
Alan, you're the king. You're dominating me.
Say it again.
Alan, you're dominating me right now. Mode 1.
Mode 1.
Daddy, can I go, please? You're the king.
Say it again.
Oh, you're the fucking king. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're the king, Alan.
AKA the king of verbal seduction. You know, it's the tone of your voice, how seductive your intonations are, the vibrations that you could just reach out over the phone lines and stroke a woman's breast just by the sound of your voice, how you could make her pussy so wet just by the sound of your voice. That's actually very hot.
So you said my show was what?
I said your show is powerful.
Oh, say it again.
Your show is powerful.
I bet the king would fuck me really good.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie. The king.
The king.
The king.